Welcome, acolytes. Today we're reacting to Rev Says Dessous, base response to Western Order over Cellar Blade. So yeah, again, pure reaction. Never. Oh, wait, where am I even? You don't even see what I'm reacting to. That's not nice, is it? Yeah, there it is. Nice. So I boomered and I'm gonna let it in just because. So yes, this is a base response. As always, let's see what the man of the hour has to say about it, and let's just start out this one.
So throughout this ongoing Gamergate situation, there's been two prevalent themes. Number one, members of the industry, whether it's game journalists or developers, openly espouting their hatred of white people. And that second theme is absolute hysteria about the design of the main protagonist from the game Stellar Blade.
Okay, good. The first one, I'm just gonna start with the least relevant. I don't know what Stellar Blade is. I just heard of it from the site, not directly. So something new for me, I guess. And the second one is... this was a sneezer, sorry. The second one is the pure effing racism they display is just disgusting. And I do not care if it's racism against... no, I don't care about the color of the skin that you are racist against. If you're racist, you're racist. It's relevant if it's white, black, Asian, yellow in this case. Asian. I don't even know why we say something different except for the skin color for Asian people specifically. Don't get it, but it's irrelevant right now. Yeah, at the end, if you're racist, you're racist. That's and I really do not give a shit against whom. You cannot say that it's fine against these people just because of something you believe. No, you're still racist. So F off. Just, F off. Okay, let's start. Stellar Blade, yeah.
And that's the topic we're going to start with first. So for weeks, there has been immense outrage, in particular from game journalists, about the design of this character. They are claiming that it's...
Yeah. Okay. It's... Yeah, I think it's fine. Is there something too terrible about it? She's way less sexual than Saren. From the Metroid games, how is the woman called, the main character? Saren? So you know how I mean, the blonde chick from Metroid. The main character. Way less. Like at least on this, I don't find it that overly bad, to be honest. Okay.
Problematic in many different ways, and one of the strangest complaints about this design is that these journalists claim it is unrealistic, which is very ironic because this character is, of course, a 3D scan of a real-life Korean model. Now,
I'm gonna talk specifically to the men that actually hear me out. If there is one lone female that somehow actually accidentally walked into this, like, boys, this is effing hot. Like, oh, damn, I love Asian women. Like, oh, damn, oof. There's the freaking one thing that gets the Lich alive, SmilingLich alive. Like, this is oof. Damn, really nice. And unrealistic? No, it is realistic, you just have to work for it. That's all. And it's not even that she can actually make anything like about her. If you're ugly, you cannot do anything about that. Or if you have some deformations, hey, I'm the same camp here. Not as extreme, but I still have some deformations of the body. Presumably one of my eyes... I know that one of my eyes is bigger than the other, so it is what it is. I can, but body shape and how you actually treat yourself. If you actually just you clean yourself, you just what I actually did, I started creaming my face with a Nivea cream, and it actually helped gigantically with the entire thing. What the F is wrong with you? It just makes my skin feel way better, and I also look way better at the end, smooth as F. Even with my hands, I had really rough patches on my hands, and now they look smooth as if I didn't work a day in my life in the butchery. So, and before they were like really bad. And my 13 cuts that I didn't get away, but hey, it still looks freaking nice. So it is what it is. So yeah, take care of yourself. You can take care of yourself. If you actually take care of yourself, just wear the correct clothes. I mean, good looking clothes. The correct clothes was badly said. There are no correct clothes. There are the clothes that actually look good on you specifically. It lets you shoot up for about 4 points. So it's, well, 4 points is maybe a bit overdone, but it shoots you up a lot, and it makes definitively better than before. So that's something I would say. Take care of yourself, take care of your skin. That's what I think I want to say. So yeah, and yes, this is very realistic. I mean, not everybody is a model, but it's realistic.
Model. Now, this is something that has been covered by Maxim Korea. This is a news outlet from Korea with over 1 million subscribers on YouTube who have addressed this issue. They have recently re-released their interview with the model that was scanned for the design of Eve, and they've also released their own news piece about the outrage surrounding this character in the West, and they would address this whole situation as the product of political correctness.
맥심 뉴스 시작합니다. 여러분, 현실적인 몸매란 무엇일까요? 현실적이란 말을 정의하기 어려운 일이지만 최근 비현실적인 몸매라고 비판받은 한 사건이 있었습니다. 게임 웹진 아이지엠 프랑스에서 한국의 게임 스텔라 블레이드 데모판을 평가하며 게임 속 등장인물인 이브는 그저 몸이 건조하다, 여자를 한 번도 본 적 없는 누군가가 만든 성적인 측면이 부각된 인형이다 라며 비난했는데요. 하지만 여러분 아시는 분은 아실 텐데요. 이 게임에 등장하는 이브 캐릭터의 바디 모델링은 맥심 표지 모델이기도 했던 신재은 씨를 기반으로 제작됐습니다.
I cannot focus. I cannot focus at all. Damn you. Damn you.
현실에 존재하는 사람의 몸매를 기반으로 모델링한 캐릭터의 몸매가 비현실적이다. 이런 말이 되려나요? 요즘 여기저기서 많이 듣던 정치적 올바른 관련 이슈가 터진 건데요. 그래서 맥심에서 신재은 씨의 몸매는 실제로 현실에 존재하는 현실적인 몸매라는 걸 교육시켜드리기 위해서 신재은 씨의 표지화보 촬영장 모습이 담긴 영상을 다시 한번 공개하기로 했습니다.
So if you want a link to that video, I will put it in the description if you want to check it out. But like I said earlier in the video, there is another ongoing theme throughout this.
And I'm gonna put a link from him in the video, so if you wanna click the link, you can click on his video, watch it, and then click on the other link. So we all have something out of it. You have extra entertainment, I have my views, and he has views. And then the video that you wanna watch also gonna get views. Even though I don't like it getting views. But if you want the full truth, you have to give it a view, and then give it a dislike. No, don't give it a dislike just because I said it. But hey, no, okay, I'm gonna shut up. This isn't. No, okay, I'm talking bullshit.
This Gamergate situation, and that is members of the industry openly sharing their hatred of white people. And to do that, we return to who else but Alyssa, the senior editor at Kotaku, who is responsible for this Pulitzer Prize winning article about the Sweet Baby Inc. situation, where she intentionally omitted key details of this situation because she didn't want her friends in the industry to look bad. She's also responsible for this magnum opus where she said, "Hi, you can't be racist against white people. Thanks for tuning in." And this would be...
I do not for the love of me understand how anybody can be okay with being racist against a race, but then say you cannot be racist against any race. This just doesn't make sense in any kind of way, at least to me. I'm not in the mind of those people, so I just don't get it. How is it possible to think the one thing that's clearly the thing you don't want to think? You know? You think? This was... It's just disgusting to me. And yes, I had my entire life to actually... I live in Bavaria, so racism is basically ingrained in those people, most people. And it's not even a racism that's actually bad, but it's also... It's a defensive mechanism. If you prove yourself to them that you're actually okay, nobody will give a single fuck about you. You're welcomed like everyone else in the family. But first of all, you have to prove it to yourself. But none of them, not even one of them, says that it's actually okay. They just know that if they let everybody in, it's just done. It's just done. So they are really, really, really harsh on that. But as I said, nobody will say that it's okay. They just think it's necessary. And even those people are, no, it's not okay, it's necessary. So I don't get it. I don't get it. How can you be so mind-effed that you actually think that being racist against any race is in any kind of way actually really good because you do it, but bad if everyone else does it? That's just a hypocriticism that I don't understand. And by the way, I actually don't agree with them. I know that it's a defensive mechanism that they do, but they still should treat a human being, see the human being as a human being, not as the specific race they are. But hey, okay, it is what it is. I went through it and it's fine for at least me right now. Yeah.
Be mocked by many people and also hit with a community note disproving her claims. While like any other bad sequel, she has released another tweet trying to defend this notion where she would once again get clowned on. This is from a few days ago where she says, "Racism is about systems of power, therefore you cannot be racist against white people, the dominant group that maintains and rules almost all power systems."
Of course, the power thing. Oh my god, just because. What the fuck? Okay.
In the Western world, period. Now, of course, if this was an intro class at a liberal arts college, she would probably get a pat on the back for this statement. But a lot of people, rational people, have an issue with this. It is very strange that someone like Alyssa and other members of the game journalism scene have spent more time over the past couple of weeks defending racism against white people than talking about video games. It's very strange. And you know what? You can look up any definition of racism. You will never find an exemption for white people listed in there. Also, if you want to argue semantics, I can make this even more simple for people like Alyssa. All you got to do is ask them a very simple question. Do you think it's appropriate to treat people poorly based on the color of their skin? If you don't have an immediate answer to that and you have to give paragraphs of explanations as to your answer, you're part of the problem. Normal people...
Yep. I already explained that I don't find it okay, so not gonna do it again. But yes, he is basically right. And it's just
People don't think it's acceptable to treat people poorly based on the color of their skin. And this is something that people like Alyssa have been fighting for their lives to defend for weeks in a row. It is not something that is valuable to their career in any sort of a way. In fact, it looks bad on them for their career and also the people that they're attached to, like Kotaku, for example, on all of this too, confirming many of the preconceived notions that gamers have about people in the industry. Well, she would continue with more rationale behind her statement, saying, "And no, your pseudo-intellectual little, well, what if you swap in the word black for white stuff doesn't work because race doesn't exist in a vacuum, and the effects of the last couple of centuries of racist institutions are still here, prevalent every day. Thank you, kick rocks. Racism and prejudice are not the same. I know 6th grade was a rough 3-year period for you," projection. I'm not letting you all dogpile in the comments, so go circle jerk somewhere else, where of course she locks the replies to this thread. And of course, if she's going to give lessons about things like prejudice, I will give her a quick lesson in what prejudice means. Here is the dictionary definition, okay? You can see listed right here. An irrational attitude of hostility directed against an individual, a group, a race, or their supposed characteristics, which basically sums up everything that Alyssa and other game journalists have been saying about white people, about men, and other characteristics of people they don't like. Now, of course, it's not just race that Alyssa...
I mean, yeah. It's... Yeah. I'm actually trying to add something to it, but... Yeah. It's... Yeah.
Has an exception for. It's also ageism. So we have this tweet from about a year ago saying being ageist is bad except when it's about old white dudes in games journalism. And recently she's been attacking Mark Kern, mocking his age because he is 56 years old. And this is something that, again, is not acceptable. What does his age have to do with anything? And why does anyone's age in the industry have any relevancy whatsoever? But this is reflected in other members of the industry who've been attacking Mark Kern. You have this individual here named Kim saying, folks, we got a guy the same age as your dad looking to protect the hot gamer girls of the world. Absolutely nothing creepy to see here. Just an old man looking out for your daughters. Note, must be hot. Interesting fan fiction you wrote there. Very strange amount of detail that you came up with using your own imagination about this situation. But of course, if you look at their profile, they are a narrative director.
And yes, and this is the problem. If you attack someone specifically just because of it, if you argue with someone, that's something different. But if you just attack someone just because, yeah, F you. Like, come on. You can do better than that. Is it really so hard? Is it? Like, come on. Come on. Don't be dead.
At PlayStation. Ah, yes. Well, this whole idea of people getting into trouble on social media for these types of claims is something that can be directly tied to someone named Liana Ruperts, who is a now former Destiny 2 community manager and co-lead of accessibility at Bungie. Because recently there's been a round of layoffs at Bungie, and unfortunately for Liana, she was one of the people who was let go. Now, of course, we don't know the actual reason in particular. She'll probably never say, but a lot of people have been tracing it to some of these statements shared by Mark Kern, where this community manager would make many anti-white comments, like this down here, saying, people of color can't be racist against white people. And replying to another person saying, sounds about whites. And down here saying, because he's a mouthy little white boy. Yeah, see, here's the thing. If you're a company doing a round of layoffs, you have a lot of difficult decisions to do. And if you're looking for people to get rid of, I would imagine the people causing controversy on social media would probably be the first ones to go. I mean, this does nothing for your company. You're alienating people on social media, in particular, potential customers. I don't care how many members of the industry come up and applaud you for attacking white people. A lot of gamers are going to see this and feel ostracized or alienated by these comments and are going to go somewhere else and not support the games that you're a part of.
As they should. As they should. Just saying.
But of course, when Mark would share this, they were hit with comments like this saying, bro, you are the problem with white people. So not only is this statement racist, of course, it's also greatly misinformed, where the note would hit them with this saying Mark Kern was born in Taipei, Taiwan, and as stated in the past, he is ethnically Chinese. Of course, it's always the white people that are hurting these individuals on Twitter. But moving forward, Liana would address this round of layoffs and the people that are sharing these screenshots of negative things she has said about white people in particular, saying this, I'm not going to defend myself because there is nothing to defend. My character will speak for itself. I refuse to let myself be a pawn in a grift game. Leave me out of it. My actions speak for themselves. my words, especially in the last 2 years where I had done a lot of shadow work to heal, speak for themselves. Now you can see Savvy here, she's been featured in a couple of our previous videos. She asked a very simple question that would not get an answer from Liana, saying, do you choose not to defend your actions because it would be difficult to explain? Your actions have been deemed inappropriate enough for termination. Do you genuinely think your phrasing was appropriate? Is it acceptable for anyone to use tweets as means of justification for termination? We've seen others lose jobs for less. And that's the thing here too. Like, the reason she's not mentioning anything specifically is because she probably has enough self-awareness to realize that those tweets don't look good. Okay, especially if you're going to future employment. Imagine trying to have to explain those tweets to a future employer, trying to explain why you think it's okay to discriminate against another group of people based solely on the color of their skin. It's a pretty hard position to defend, and I think people with self-awareness like Liana know that these things look bad, okay? And that's why they choose not to directly address any of them in this statement. But she would go on to say down here, speaking to someone in particular who will realize very soon, fan behavior, to be honest, not worth the time or engagement. Twitter is not the real world, and this is the only place he has any relevance. Please go to therapy and heal some of that hate in your heart and leave me out of your trauma. The conversation on my side is over. I regret to inform you this is another round of projection, but of course, who are they referring to? Well, it becomes very obvious. So down here someone says, hold up, what happened? Not important. It's not worth giving him more engagement. I refuse to contribute to him being paid to spread hate. Of course, she is referring to Mark Kern and dismissing this entire situation as not important. You lost your job, so your job wasn't important. This criticism being levied against you by gamers, by the way, potential customers of projects you work on, is not important. Very strange to say. But of course, Mark Kern lives rent-free in the minds of many people in the gaming industry, and it's definitely reflected in this series of tweets.
Effing tread. At the end of the day, effing tread. It's just beautiful. If you know that you're living rent-free somewhere in somebody's head, that's one of the most beautiful feelings you can freaking ever have. Definitively in the top 10, by the way. Definitively in the top 10.
By Khalif. So, he said this. Looks like folks are DDoSing Compulsion's site. So whack. I feel for that team. They are sweethearts too. Now, of course, Compulsion Games has been one of the companies criticized for their woke agenda, and Mark Kern is one of the people who has helped spread the message about them. So this is what this individual is saying. They're trying to say that their website is being DDoSed. And you can see down here, this user says, you got any receipts to share? Because their website seems fine. Where Khalif says, nope, was an assumption due to the targeted harassment we are seeing. So down here, this person says, so you made an assumption of a DDoS on Twitter based on some alleged harassment campaigns, where Khalif says, I personally wasn't able to access the site for at least 10 minutes or so. So basically, this guy's internet went out for 10 minutes, and he decided this must be the product of a harassment campaign. And in particular, they would directly address this claim that it's Mark Kern. This person lives...
Oh, this is funny and sad at the same time. It's just, oh my god, like, instantly... And it's not the entitlement that you think that everybody is out to get you. Either there are two things that can happen here. One is paranoia. Paranoia is actually a mental sickness. So now if he has paranoia, that's not nice and not funny. But if he's so effing up his ass that he actually thinks that the entire world revolves around him, then no, F you, bruh. That's just not how this works, to be honest. This is just... And I assume it's the second thing, because a lot of people these days, or, well, it was always this way, but these days it's a bit more prevalent because of the entire social media and such. They think the entire world revolves around them, and this just isn't how it works. Yeah.
So rent-free in the mind of people like Khalif and other members of the industry that their internet goes out for 10 minutes and they think it's Mark Kern. Mark Kern did this to me. He's leading a DDoS campaign. It's absolutely wild. Now, here's some more community managers getting into trouble and being exposed by Mark Kern. So, he says this: "Were we misled? Helldivers 2 was lauded for their anti-politics stance by all of us. Now, Helldivers community manager clarified why they banned people asking for LGBT capes."
Nice.
Now, there's many tweets being shared, but
by the way, still applauding this. This is beautiful. This is how you should make a game. Except it's a politically driven game, then yes, that's a different story. But honestly, politically driven games that are really, really extremely politically driven, that don't just send a message, but are specifically for the political party, there are a few in between.
I think this one really sums it up, where there's a lot of very strange tweets made by this community manager talking about white people and how they need to start listening to other races and basically pipe down that the parent-child narratives in gaming is one that is male-centric and doesn't need to be included anymore. Just a lot of very divisive stuff, right? And of course, I think you know how guilty someone like this feels when they immediately private their account the second tweets like this are shared. But of course, she would act on some of the notions that people were saying. When these tweets were shared, she would immediately change her Discord profile picture to remove any semblance of politics in her bio, just going to a normal, generic profile for her Discord. And of course, as we can see here, Mark Kern would say, "I'm going to have to revise my opinion. Helldivers community manager blocked me." Edited statement below: "As I reported, community managers have to toe the line or be ostracized by other CMs. The fear is real. Silence is seen as complicity." Now, that's something that we kind of covered in yesterday's video where we talked about the woke initiative Bridge. Now, Bridge is a DEI initiative that wants to literally spread this type of stuff into every aspect of your life. Now, through their studies, even they have admitted that a lot of companies have adopted DEI initiatives. For example, when things like Pride Month roll around, they will change their profile picture to a pride flag or do something like that, right? But they also discovered that these people in the industry, they're only doing these things because they feel like, one, it's good for business, or two, they're afraid of being canceled or attacked for not doing these actions. And of course, Bridge wants to basically brainwash them into believing it's the right thing to do, and it's not about business, it's just the right principled thing to do. But that's another story. But maybe that's...
They don't care about this. They don't give a fuck about the right thing to do. If they did, it would be a different story, wouldn't it? But no, they are literally just scared that they get cancelled. There is no freaking way that they actually... like most of them, I won't say every single one, because that's but no, most of them just don't give a fuck. They want to maximize their profits. That's fine. You're a freaking company, you should, as long as there aren't any hard immoral things going on. Yeah, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck. They will change their pride flag just so they don't get flagged and don't lose customers. And it's fine. It's fine if you do that. But companies that actually show some backbone, they should get some extra treats for it, in my opinion. Or the companies that should actually do the most things or get the most extra freaking goodie, something sweet, should be those that say, nope, we hold our hands out, we don't give a fuck, just nope, no political statement here, we just sell our product. This would be the freaking optimal thing. But well, that's not how you sell stuff. Shit.
the case going on here because they immediately folded when these things were brought out into the public. But of course, people would quote Mark Kern's latest tweet with this, saying, "All I'm saying is that I've seen people get stomped out for less." So this individual sees a differing opinion about issues in the video game industry and immediately believes that Mark Kern should be physically assaulted. Yes,
of course,
very
yes.
normal people, by the way. And of course, another member of the industry who works with Cold Iron Studios, who I guess must share this opinion of this employee that works with them. Very interesting stuff as always. But it's not the only one wishing violence on Mark from the game industry. So here he says, a Square Enix streamer / creator wishes me things so bad he would get banned for them if he spoke them out loud. Let's see this tweet. "I wish things for Kern that if I said out loud, I would get banned for." And I will leave it there. Ooh, tough guy. Yeah, I will say things, but I won't because I might lose my Twitter account. Clearly, you don't really believe any of these things, and I doubt you're going to do anything or wish anything in real life when you're too afraid to even type it out on Twitter. And I went to go check out this account, and yeah, it adds up, right? But anyways, that's another round of some crazy stuff going on in the gaming industry.
Yeah. And by the way, in my opinion, if you're representing your firm in any way and you post hateful stuff on the internet, and it doesn't matter which side, okay, you actually should get some consequences for it. Maybe not instantly firing, but definitively, if you're a CEO of a firm and you're posting things like that, instantly fired. Now, if you're a small drop in the bucket, like any kind of pencil pusher, or someone who actually basically doesn't give a fuck about it, like someone that works on the freaking manufacturer job or something like that, just it's less relevant because you don't represent a firm. But if you're someone bigger, you should get should get a form of punishment for it, just because, well, you're actually doing bad stuff, really bad stuff. But at the end of the day, accolades. If you liked it, you know what to do. Good night.